Hey there, it's Sarah Saxby, your transformation coach at Strategies for Happiness and author of Comfortable Hell, and also your guide to a new way forward. And today I wanted to talk about kind of that saying in our head when we're in an abusive relationship and we're becoming aware of it, or you're just becoming aware of that sadness and anger and unfulfilled feeling of every day. And we say to ourselves, and I've ran into plenty of women that will hear about what I'm doing and they say, well, there's nothing I can do. They're like, they literally are just, although they hate it and they literally hate their partner, one reason or another, they're like, what am I going to do about it? This is just my life. This is how the rest of my life is going to look. And I have to say that I have been there and I have felt that. It's like I'm my own worst enemy because, I just accepted that this was going to be it. So let's try to make the most of it. When it was really, it's sad because I feel like I have so much more to give and so much more to do. But it was never going to happen. It was like, okay, well, I'm going to self-sacrifice, right? I'm going to sacrifice who I am and who I'm here to be just to stay in this environment that was only familiar to me because it reminded me of my upbringing, and the battle zone that I was raised in. And it was familiar. So I knew no other way. And I was kind of thinking about how, and I've talked about these things in previous vlogs about how we feel like we need to compile evidence, right? We need to come up with evidence to prove our point that we're being abused because we don't believe it. We feel like nobody's going to believe us. We're told that we're crazy. It's not abuse, right? We're actually the ones who are doing the abuse, like because our partners have to live in such a dark place, not getting their needs met, all that bullshit. And so it's like we set out on this quest as opposed to actually making a move and getting ourselves to freedom. We decide that we're going to be like attorneys and just gather or like detectives and just gather information. And it's like we have, a stack this high of all the abuse and all the shitty ways we've been treated. And we're like, look, you see all this? And you know who we say it to? We say it to the abuser. It's like we're getting all this information, all the details together, and we're using it to show the abuser how he is treating you. Again, saying he because it fits for me. So, and the thing is, let me tell you, with a narcissist, and to some degree, we're all narcissists, please. That's a whole nother freaking vlog to talk about all the issues because we're always coming from our own framework, right? But anyway, then there's the narcissist. And I feel like a good way to talk about this, and you'll understand if you've been in this situation, is like a narcissist has a stopping point. It's like right here, right? Under here is like this deep, dark, untouchable, horrible abuse or feelings of absolute horror and shame and guilt and all of this stuff. So it's right. And this is like a steel barrier, right? So, their environment, they're taking in information and it stops right here. So you could be pleading your case and saying, look at all this stuff you're doing to me. Why would you say this to me? How can you treat me this way? And it goes to here. And right here is logic, right? Because that's the only, they only can go so far. I mean, are you guys with me? Makes sense? So anything that you say to them, you can say, like in my last blog where I was talking about him asking his, or would he be okay with his daughter being abused? And, he's not looking at it from this deep, sympathetic, empathetic place where it's emotional and he can feel it. He's going logic. It's only logic. Like, oh, I saw a movie about this once. Or, I remember this situation 5 years ago when my parents are, whatever. It's like a calculation where if they're willing to, they'll think about it and they'll go, yeah, I can understand why you're upset. Because I yelled at you for 4 hours last night and you didn't get to sleep. But it's not a true empathetic, I feel you and I want to change, because they don't feel there's anything wrong, because it's down here. This is where they won't get to. And there is very, very little chance that they're ever going to change. Okay? Because they can't, they won't. This is self-protection down here. They have a trap. It's like a net where it doesn't, a steel barrier that it doesn't let them actually feel what you're feeling. So that's why they don't give a shit about you. And they really don't. They think they do. They'll tell, a therapist or whatever, I'm so in love with this person. But to them, it's possession. That love for them is possession. They possess you. And when you're not acting accordingly, they can toss you. They can go find somebody, that's going to give them what they need, or, they'll ignore you because you're not serving your purpose. And it's very logical. It's like, to them, it's like, I don't understand why you are not completing and fulfilling and doing all these things that I need of you, because, do you ever if you didn't feel good, this has happened to me, I explained this, but you don't feel good. So he's like just ignoring me. And, it's like they'll go find another way to get fulfilled until you're back in action. So it's like, he'll be on like social media posting stuff. And it's like, okay, well, if I can get some likes or some comments, that'll boost me up until my host body is back and she can start, giving me blowjobs or whatever it is to make me feel better. And, so it's never really enough and you're never going to measure up. But here we are with our evidence, our case, and we're sitting there going, this is what you do to me. This is why do you do that? All this stuff. And they're just like freaking AI, like robots, right? Just sitting there, with the on-off switch and shit. And because they're never going to go any deeper than that. And I don't care how much therapy you get. Like, trust me, you guys, I fucking did it. I did it. And even in front of therapists, I remember when I was talking and I'm like, dude, I get yelled at, literally scolded like a child when I get my period, because that upsets him. So he goes off into a fucking tantrum when I get my period. And so I'm telling this therapist this, and I'm finally like coming to this revelation that this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally getting yelled at for my period. And she said to me, she goes, well, right, because you feel like you're being used. And I said, yeah, I'm being used because I serve no purpose. Well, I shouldn't say that, because I'm thinking of it sexually. Like, to him, there's other options, but it's not like I'm going to take care of this person because she doesn't feel well. It's literally like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get your shit together. This is how they look at you, because you are an object. You are an object that literally uses their money, sleeps in their home, is there for them sexually, is there to pump them up, and you're expected to do all this stuff. And you literally, behind the scenes, you fucking hate them. And you have visions of taking a baseball bat to them. You know what I'm saying? And you stay because you have your case and you want to plead it to them and you want them to change. And they're never going to change. Never, because they don't see it. It's a part of their personality. It's a part of their personality to look at you like you are an extension of them. That's it. So I don't know, this is something that really was coming, into my head, and I wanted to share because I thought it was just important. And again, whoever needs to hear this, you are amazing. You're here, you're breathing, you have things to do. And you are worth more than the bullshit that you're allowing every single day. So write to me, comment. I'm happy to give you, like the igniting that you need. I'm happy to talk about whatever y'all want me to talk about, because I'm sure I've been there. So hang in there, be strong, know that you are wonderful and amazing. People need you and love you, and so do I. Okay, bye guys.